Hmm. La 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 la. Okay, I think audio is working. Right. I'll start shortly. Oh, hi, Heike. Salut. Okay. How are you doing? So, the goal today is to implement a couple of things, but basically, let me just turn down the volume a little bit. Boop. Basically, we have this game with tiles that you have in hand. You are a god, and you place them down on the line like this. And the goal is to try to put them in a way that will damage the enemies the most. So this one damaged the next 3 tiles, so I could put it there. And then in between I could put nothing. I'll keep those tiles for later. Then my hero walks forward. And when it reaches this spell, it just damages both enemies at once. Because this does 3 damage to entities on the next 3 tiles. That's the core principle. And what we want to do today is that when you kill, for example, a tree, that it drops some piece of wood, some wood logs that we can collect then when the hero passes the tile. I'm not sure how we'll use it in the game. We are discussing with the game designer if we want to do a crafting system or not, but we need it for some things such as there are fruit trees that I could place one apple tree. Those grow fruits and drop fruits, and then when you eat the fruits, in this case you get health. And I would like to make them actual items that fall on the ground when you hit the tree that you can then pick up. I think that could be quite satisfying. The tile placement game, your video description is a bit off. It mentions asteroids. I think it's because maybe I phrased it wrong, but it's supposed to be just the name of my game studio that I have with two other co-founders. I see how it's misleading. Yeah. Can I just quickly change? Okay, I rephrased it. Thanks. And so how I'd like to start implementing that is we have a kind of a spreadsheet of all the entities in the game, and we use it for every tile that you have in hand, every enemy, and pretty much everything. And here we can define the stats of each thing and the abilities and such, the description. And my plan would be to add a new type of those that would be item drops or items, or not sure how I should name it. Probably just item. Although you'll be able to pick up like weapons and stuff at some point, so maybe loot or drops. And instead of being tiles, they will just be represent small objects that can sit on tiles, like apples, for example, or fruits. My brain skipped word and filled the blank with whatever. I think no, I think I see how you read it. I phrased the sentence a bit ambiguously, but I changed it now. Thanks. All right. So I think I can already go ahead and go in the game source. We have entity type. I think entity type, right? And we have terrain, structure, object. We already have objects. But object that sits on a tile. Okay. Monster, hero, equipment, permabuff. And I'll just add a new one. Entity type. Oops. I have to get in the flow of streaming and typing again. How do you call it? Either just item or drop. Drop, is it a good term for that? Sounds a bit like a dropping, with not really what I want, but maybe drop. Let's go with that and we can change. Case, drop, return, drop. So now I just go to all the switch cases that I have. Seems I only have one, okay. And just add, like here it's the title of the type. And does it work straight away? Let's see. Yes, so hot reload worked. And we do have a new type called drop. Easy peasy. All right, so now we could in theory, so let's revert my changes. I could in theory add like apple and set it to drop and give it maybe this image. Okay. And I think, can I place it? I guess not, because you can place only, whoops, place apple. Okay, you can place it, and it appears. It's just currently a tile. Place apple. All right. Okay, not bad. Just switch the music, it's a bit too dark for my taste. Let's see. Whoops. I see.
Well, that's not very interesting at the moment. So let's start creating.
This one. Okay. So we do have a new type of entity. How do I want to proceed? I guess, so every entity currently has a visual position. So if Visual Studio can catch up, it can't. Okay. Entity. I think here we have the entity struct with a ton of different properties or fields. The fuck is this music? And we do have a visual position here. trying to think what's the best way to proceed. So let's suppose I wanted to spawn an apple on the apple tree when it's placed, let's say, or at the start of the round, because that's eventually what we want to do anyway. So we have what we call an ability, grow fruits here, and it's called, this code is called at the start of the round. And so this would be the place where we could create such a drop item and put it in the tree, basically, visually, with the visual position. So I don't know if it will work, but I can try to just add a new entity to the world. And I will do that with rput for array put entities. And the syntax is a bit unusual, but I like it. It's my new dynamic array. You assign, basically, you dereference a pointer and you assign to it like this. Visual position, vector 2, and maybe we can initially just put it at the same visual position as the tree. So I guess we have a reference to the entity, trigger entity. Oops, yeah, that's it. It's the one. Trigger entity, visual position. And let's say maybe we can add just a little bit of an offset. So vector 2, and we had 0 in the x-axis and minus 10 in the y-axis. So it's going to be a bit higher up because the y-axis is going down. Okay. Then we need to specify what's its ID, because every entity has an ID, so it knows what it is. And this is 1, 2, 3, apple, I see. So we can just hard code it for now. We'll do something cleaner later. Def ID 1, 2, 3. To do cleanup. Hold on, forgot a comma here. We're good. Okay. So it didn't save. What? Interesting. I'm kind of confused. There is no drop type anymore. Let's just try reloading once more. Okay, that's kind of confusing. Okay, it's back. That's kind of strange. There is a bug somewhere. Apple drop, and I'll save it this time. Very okay. I'll save it and I'll color it just so we know it's not implemented yet. Just checking that it reloads fine. Yes. Okay, cool. What's next? So we want to try the functionality of... Hold on, I think I'm not done with that. Actually, it should already work, I guess. Let's see. So I'll place an apple tree. Place apple tree. I'll place a tree because when there are adjacent, something grows here. Actually, it does it in all. So this is not it. Okay, not sure it works. So what am I missing? Yeah, I probably need to also give it a tile position. otherwise it won't render, because I do some culling to improve performance of the game. So trigger, entity, tile, pause. Okay, maybe that's enough. So let's go place apple tree. Okay. Okay, so we have our apple here. I think it has a shadow already, and it's kind of low still. Maybe it's being animated into this position actually. I think it might be. We can just try. I guess we can go tile animate, something like this. Animate. No. Entity anim, right. So I call that from a bunch of places to kind of move the entity to its target position. And I think, so this is for the tiles in the hand, so we don't care about this one. But this one is for the tiles on in the world. So we do care about this one. So movements. Okay. So we don't. Yeah, we can keep that. Destroy. So anyway, I think if I do like, it's a bit ugly again, but if I do def ID, I guess, def. Hold on, where do I have access to the definition of this entity? Not really, or do I must have type. I see, okay. So where was I? If the type is not equal to type entity type drop, then we do the animation of the position. Otherwise we don't. And that should be sufficient to have like, okay, this, and then an apple tree. Okay. Okay, so now the apple is here. Kind of similar as before. Grow fruits. So let's try to place it a little bit higher on the screen. Okay. Now we don't see it. Maybe it's behind. Yes, it's behind. Okay. Interesting. Because it's higher. I think because it's higher, it's being sorted as if it was behind, because there is kind of a thing like that going on. Okay. So we need to put it in its own layer, I suppose. But it would be cool if the fruits could go in front or behind, depending on their depth on the tile. Need to think how to achieve that. Yep. Something I wanted to have for a while was kind of a Z visual was Z like this, and then determine the like modify the height, the visual height of the entity at the last moment when drawing, depending also on the depth. That could be interesting. That way, like if Z is 0, it's in the middle. If it's positive, I guess it's like here, and negative here, or the other way around. But for now, I'll just again hack something, I think. So draw tile is where we draw the tree, typically, and also the fruit at this point. So I can just close this one. Okay, so the plan is we will just find where I specify like the sorting order of things and just draw all the drops in front for now. Just so we can move on to more interesting stuff. We'll draw tile, bleep bloop. Draw fire. Okay, so I have to go there. Ah, that's the highlight. Okay, I see. I know that. Okay, that's the ground. Okay, I see. So we have a weird thing that sorts draws basically, and we pass a Z here, like a sorting, an int apparently. No, a float. Okay. So that's for terrain specifically. That's for everything else. That's where the shadow is from at this point. And the actual draw is here, as the comment says. So, okay. So if we go to the top of this, here, we can modify this Z basically, as we do already for structures apparently. If let's go is drop, whoops, then we want Z to be higher. I guess I reversed it and Z negative is in the back. That's also fine. And then here we can go up, def type, oops. I could just check for those directly, but I don't know why I did it that way. Okay. Okay, so now if I place an apple tree and I start the round, we should see a berry. It's still behind. Okay. No problem. Let's go get to the bottom of it. Let's try this maybe. Place apple tree. To avoid having to do it each time, maybe I could just save the states, the game. I do have a function to do that. It's just not enabled right now. Let's do it like that. I think this should have saved the state. Doesn't show a message, so I don't think so actually. Just pressing S should do it. I do have a compilation error that I didn't spot. Oops, I see the problem. Okay, are we good? Yes. Shit. Okay, apple tree. Place. Okay. Yeah, I think there are some weird things with the hot reload and the sound system, that because I did changes to the sound system recently. Let's not worry about it now. Interesting. I like this music, by the way. Sunjammer, yeah. Okay, okay. This is because I changed. Okay, that actually makes total sense. I changed the structure of the game state since I last. And when I hit L, right now it's the key, the shortcut to load the game. So when I try to write Apple, it crashes. So I should say here, let's change the shortcut so it's more. Let's go and integrate it as a command actually. Yes, let's do that. That's totally a sidetrack, but that's fine. Because it will be it will save us much time. Whoops. Come on. Why can I not search? Oh my god. My mouse is also a bit weird. There is some weird thing happening on this computer. Okay. So right, okay, so commands. Not this type of commands. Those. So basically I will just copy paste some code to put into the initialization thing to register a command. And the command will be called commands game state save. And the shortcut will be S. And the modifier will be command and shift. Okay, that makes sense. That's good, I think. This will just be a static variable that I put somewhere, and then save game. Whoops. Serialize game state. Serialize game. Where is that code from? Here. Okay, we are getting there. So I'll just drop some static state here. I don't really care at this point. And go back here, just check how I implemented those. Palette command pol, easy peasy. So palette command pol. And here I pass the command load or save. And here I pass the command load. So what all of this means is I register two commands that I can call from the command palette, and this will return true when they get executed, basically. Boop. And this is not an engine command. It's important for reasons. For hot reload reasons. Okay, so it's not a pollable command. Is it not? Ah, I forgot to copy pasta. So it's not really that it's not a pollable, it's more that it was a null handle that I passed. So I guess I could check for that as well. It's an index. Okay, never mind. API to do check for null handle, but then index 0 must be reserved. Perhaps it is already. Perhaps it is already. I don't think so. Okay. Moving on. So save, game state, saved. Good. And now, if I do like, not place, load game states, it goes back to where we were. Perfect. Okay. That will be handy to have, so that's nice. Nice that it's done. So now place apple tree. Apple tree. Okay, and we can just start the round with a shortcut as well. Oops. And we got the apple here. And it's in front, so it works. So loads. I can use the shortcut. I can just load like this. And let's redo it. Oops. Let's do it one more time. Place apple tree. Just want to check something. There is no fruit at this point. I save. Because, okay, the shortcut to save is also the shortcut to start a round. To force start a round. So I'll remove that because I don't really need it. I kind of do actually, so maybe it can be command alt. Yeah, okay. So let's do it one more time. Apple tree, and then save. And then I can start the round like this. And I can reload like this. Perfect. And the fruit does appear, so that's good. And the shadow, however, is kind of at a weird place. Trying to understand the logic of that. Why higher than the visual position? I'm not too sure at this point. Because I think when I wasn't offsetting it on the y-axis, it was basically down here, and the shadow was overlapping with the other one. So maybe it's a question of how the sprites are aligned with regard to their origin. Don't know. Boop, 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 boop. So ideally, of course, the shadow would be here. Let's start tweaking a little bit the offset that I added to grow fruits. Grow fruits. Let's tweak it to be 0 again. Up. Okay, so it's lower than. Why? Why? Ah, I see. Kind of forgot about that, but okay. So it's drawing just like it was an entity, like a monster, a living thing. And those have a kind of a template size that they must follow. And so if I take one like this guy. He has a size of 80 by 80, and it's aligned at from the bottom border here on these tiles. And so this guy is smaller, and it's still aligned at the same boundary, so it appears here. So what we should do is just do a different rendering path for those drops, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe it's fine to... Maybe actually I will just use the same template. Not out of laziness, but out of... basically we need kind of the same requirements for drops. Like we could imagine a kind of a big drop that goes below, like this is the position that the drop will pop at. And we could imagine that some drop is kind of circular shaped and goes lower than that position. So we cannot just align it at the bottom of the position that we determine, so where the shadow is, because it must be able to overflow a little bit here. So for that we need kind of a system to determine where the origin point is. Templates, I think I put it somewhere. This. And so for that we have kind of a template, a positioning template where you can see compared to the shadow where your entity will end up. And so I think I will just use it as well for the roots because it makes sense. And now let's do some art. Let's draw an apple. Let's draw an apple. So it's going to be, of course it will be later on replaced because I'm not a proper artist. But I think I can do a good enough job for now. So let's center it. What should be the size? That's maybe a little big. Something like this. Doesn't feel very natural as a shape to me. So let's add some irregularities. Maybe make a little Okay, not too bad. It looks a little bit too much like a heart, but I think a stem can help quite a bit. Oops. Not bad. Not bad. Let's make it sit a little bit more. Is it me or is it slightly transparent? Uh-oh. Okay, I'll just do a pass over everything. I had opacity at 90%. Okay. Alright. Not the most beautiful apple. Let's do some shading now to make it a little bit more. A little nicer. So let's tend a little bit more with let's add a little bit of blue for the shadow. Okay. Maybe a bit too much. Maybe a bit too much. Like it's a bit too brown in for my taste. So I'll try again. Just lowering this. It automatically becomes a bit brownish. HLS, no. So I'll again try to add just a little bit of blue. Maybe my mistake. Ah, that's much better. Okay, good. Try to convey the roundness of the apple a little more. Oh, good, good. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then just a little highlight. Just a little highlight. That's actually quite good. That's good. Surprisingly okay. Okay. Should I add like contacts? Even better. Okay, very good apple for me, at least. And it could work as well for an apple in the tree, I hope. We'll see. So, apple. And that will go into images, yes. Bloop. I don't know what's up with my mouse, I'm very imprecise today. Okay. So load. Start the round. And pause. What? Did you see that the apple went down? Interesting. Apple. I know it was already down. Okay. Now, oops. Okay, now what I need to do is simply assign my new apple. Okay, and hopefully it is aligned. So load, start the round. It doesn't appear. Okay. That sucks. Just reboot real quick. So it's strange because I didn't like... I just replaced the image, I didn't change. Hold on. Ah, okay. I picked the wrong kind of assets. I should fix also that at some point. Okay, now we have an apple here. Okay, good. Now what we can do, it has a huge shadow that is matching the one of the tree. So we could replace it just in there, visual shadow here. We can just select a smaller one, but we need to make it first. So blob, shadow. I guess I could have used the templates that we had before as well, just to draw a shadow below. Shit. Okay. So I could copy... What? Could copy paste this this guy. So the only thing I have to do, in theory, is erase. Okay, and we get exactly the same kind of shadow. I guess this is okay. This is good. Okay, good enough. Blob, shadow, small. Up, I select it. Just checking it's a subimage, yes. Okay. I think we can see the shadow below. Yes, we can see it. It's aligned. Okay, now we can go back to where we spawned the fruits. Up, go back here, and I add an offset here, a negative offset of -20 or so, something like this. Didn't work. It worked this time, so there is something weird that I'm not sure. Like something spooky is going on with the hot reload. The positioning is actually not bad. I'll try to put it a little bit to the right. Probably too much. Look, it went back to the bottom. That's there is really something going very wrong. Okay, now it's placed kind of properly. Up. Again. Again. So I think there is a bug in the hot reload that I should really fix ASAP. Alright. Is the shadow at the correct place? Yes, I think so. We can barely see it, but... not too sure, actually. I know the shadow is here. The shadow is on the apple. Okay. Ah, of course, because I... Ah, okay. I don't really have a height, the concept of height. That's what I was meaning to add, not visual Z, but visual height. Visual pose E. Instead, we could say pose visual height. Something like this. And this gets added just before rendering the entity. I think that could work. Draw tile. So we got a visual position. Okay, this is the entity. Somewhere we draw the blob shadow. So this one we shouldn't offset. And just before we draw this guy, we add. I think we can just go ahead and height. After. No need to say that. Okay. So we just say end pose y minus equal the height. And I think this function can be called without an entity, but we don't reach these points, I think. We do reach these points, my bad. Okay, so if there is an entity, we take this, otherwise we say 0. Okay. Now I should set this to something, otherwise nothing will happen. So grow roots, should put some kind of bookmark at this location. So no offset of 36 in this dimension, but instead we say visual height. My god. Is 36. Okay. So reload. Start. So now the apple is here and the shadow is here. So that's perfect. It's kind of hard to tell, but here you can see it's a little bit darker under the apple. And we want, so this is nice, but only if the apple is kind of close to the ground. So maybe we want to fade out the shadow if the height is too big. We'll do that later. For now, how do I want to proceed? Here's what I'm thinking. We want this apple to drop, of course, at the point where we attack the tree for the first time. So we need to somehow say to the apple, you should fall now, basically. But it's a separate entity from the tree. So either the tree should track which apple it has on it, or the apple should track if the tree is still holding it. And I'm not sure what way is best for now. But you know what? We can take a little break and actually make visuals for those trees that don't have any fruits on them. I think that would be a good thing to do anyway. So let's go to tree, open in Affinity. Oops. So that's already a visual that is nice, that we can use, I mean. But we need some way to know when it's, because, let me explain. Let me give you some context. We have tiles that are in the hand like this. We need to know if we are placing a normal tree or an apple tree. When you place an apple tree, when the round starts, it grows some fruits depending on how many neighboring trees are next to it. Before we had those apple already present on the tile, so you know when you place it what kind of tree it is. Now we want to remove those. So we need a way to determine, like, to distinguish this is an apple tree. So one solution, like one idea I had, was to put a little label, a little label that says this is an apple tree, like a little picture of an apple on a little. Either it could be something like this, with the actual apple drawn on it. I was imagining more something this shape. Or it could be something more like an information wooden panel. Maybe I'll try with a wooden thing first. Let me also just bring in the ground so I can see what's up. All right. All right. So new layer, and we can start drawing. Let's say there is a little sign, maybe this size, something like this. And then we take the apple, we just drop it on here. So we might have to do a smaller version. Oh shit, it's not symmetrical. That's fine, we can maybe make a wider pillar. Okay, so it would need to be taller if we want to fit the entire fruit. We can try. And it doesn't need to be as wide. Something like this. Oh, it looks very ugly. I hate it. Maybe to make it clear, it's a sign. Maybe it needs to be bigger still, so we can distinguish the top of the apple. Let's go completely. Let's go all in. This needs to move one step up. Okay, I need to remember the shortcut. Brush, okay. B for brush. Okay, whoa. Shit. Okay, getting there. This, no. This can be like that. This can be like that. Maybe we should put some actually green here. Like a leaf more than a stem. It's a bit weird that it's square. So either I could make it bigger. Could make it a little wider. Let's try. Brush. No, select. I will just. And this is what? M? V. And M. And let's put it back in normal modes and V and right. Okay. And maybe I can do again like M, Control C, Control V, and V and right. Doesn't work. Not sure what I did there. Okay, I managed. M, Control C, Control V, and V, right. Nope, doesn't work, okay. Never mind. Let's merge, group and merge. And let's fix up the little issues. Okay, I think that's kind of all right. Maybe I can just suggest some shadow. Let's go full black. Just a little bit of opacity. I don't know. Looks kind of strange. Okay, let's try. Not too sure about the shadow, to be honest. 3 apple. Okay. It's a bit too much in your face, I think. A bit too in your face. Of course, when you cut it down, the sign disappears. Maybe that's we want to keep it. Also, if it could be more in the back, it would be better. But I don't know if we can manage that. because then it needs to be behind a tree. No, that's worse. Yeah, I think we can do it like that. We just erase maybe a little bit of those. Is there a way to make it completely hard? Like not it's about the shape? Well, I guess I could use this guy. Okay, I'm happy with that. Export, tree apple. Should maybe export it as a PSD directly. This gap is a bit now kind of strange. Okay, tree dead. Tree dead. We'll do a version of the tree, apple tree, where it's dead, basically. Exports. Tree apple dead. Load, and we need to specify apple tree that when it's dead, here we go. Okay, good. It's a bit transparent when it's dead, but that's okay. Okay, not bad, not bad. Maybe I can commit that already. So we got a small blob shadow, just the apple tree, and the apple tree dead. We've got a new thing. We changed the apple tree visuals. Sounds great. This is not okay. This is not okay. Not sure why it happened. I'll check. This is for the new apple. Okay. I think we're good. What? Uncommitted? What do you mean? Okay, it's just my comments in engine code. Apple tree, I mean, implemented oops, tree. Okay. Okay. Now what we could do, so the rule is, depending on the number of adjacent trees, like if I have one, I should spawn 1 apple. If I have 2, I should spawn 2 apples. So maybe we could already do that. Here, instead of hard coding, I will just say apple tree or apple ID. It's not so much cleaner, but it at least centralizes all the IDs in constants. Just need to find it. I think I have a couple somewhere. Okay, here. Define. Oops. Okay, and what was I saying? That I could do something so multiple apples can be placed. So yeah, the new rule will be like the description that I'm showing here is not current. We simplify it. It's just at the round start. How many, like if there is 1 or 2 neighbors, that many apple will spawn. So initial will just go. So we could do like something like int I hope I is not taken already. Like we spawn 1 per bonus. And then we can just say positions, or we can randomize, I guess. But then we might have 2 apples very close by, so let's have an array of positions that we can pick from. Our offsets, and that's an array, and we have maybe, so 1 would be 836, and then we'll make more. And then we pick 1. Currently we could just how does that work? I see. Well, that's pretty much what we want. So a seed, we can pass the random state of the game. I think that's all good. The array will be visual offsets, and then the count will be count of visual offsets. Okay. And I think this just gives us the offset directly. And then we can use it like this way. X, Y. Does that compile? Yes. Now it could pick twice the same. So right now they are all the same, so we don't care. But let's shuffle it a little. So this one will be on the opposite side of the tree and maybe a little higher. And this one will be a little lower. And kind of in the middle of the tree in terms of x-axis. Let's try it. The problem is it might pick twice the same location, basically. So in this case, it didn't pick any. Because I did have a adjacent tree. Bonus is initial bonus plus. What did it log? Growing? Oh my god. I don't care about sound right now. So let's see if I place a tree next to this guy. Place oak. And I start. So I get 2 fruits. But no fruits were spawned. Suppose. So we should have like extra fruits somewhere. Growing 2 extra fruits. Okay, so this was in fact 2. So the loop should have iterated twice. But somehow I fucked up something. So maybe this guy doesn't work properly. So what it does is it takes our array, takes a random number between 0 and count. No, that's fine. Okay, let's go attach a debugger. We need to put a password because Apple. Okay. And pause. And reload. And let's place a tree. Oh my god, I keep hitting the wrong shortcut. Tree. Just because I worked on the profiler recently. Simulate. Okay, so we hit this the first time. And what's the offset? Looking okay, looking good. Looks good to me. So why am I not seeing any apple? It's all good. It does have the image, it's the correct one, I'm pretty sure. Ah no, it's not. So the problem is here we have 2 types of assets, subimage and images, and it must be a subimage. And I picked a... I don't know at what point it broke. It's kind of worrying. It's hard to say. Oak. Place oak. Oh, hold on. Ah shit, I closed it. My god. Nothing works properly anymore. Like it's supposed to auto-scroll when I do this. It used to work very well. Okay, maybe I see why. Drop apple.png, that's the correct one. Load. Place oak. Simulate. Okay, we got 2 apples. Great. Okay, so now we just want to make sure that it doesn't pick twice the same visual offset. Do we have something like this already? Random in array? I suppose we don't. random. Don't know how to name it, but I'll name it random items, and maybe we can rename this one random item. Okay. So here we would need a kind of loop. It's more complex than just... I don't know if I want to implement that as a macro. Especially since I need to return an array item. Maybe that's why it doesn't exist, because it's kind of complex to make. So perhaps instead we can make a dynamic array. I think, yeah, that's maybe not the most beautiful solution, but it's the most convenient for me right now. Just make a dynamic array of visual offsets. It could go on the temporary arena, and I think I can do that like this with this most recent iteration of the library. So capacity 0 and arena get arena get temp. So this will basically, normally you can use the dynamic array just like that, like r push, and then push the items like this. And this will just, visual offsets is just a null pointer at the start. This just evaluates to that type with an asterisk. So this is a null pointer initially, and then the first time we push, we malloc some memory, right? And now with this new API, we can choose to manually init the dynamic array with an arena, and then it gets allocated on that arena. And in this case, I just take the global temporary arena. What's up with that? Visual offsets with different types. Right. Yes, of course, I left the previous code here. So this looks better, but I mean, we need the dynamic arena just for convenience. And I misspelled, it's not push, it's put. Random in array, here we need to replace with rlen. And the point of this is that we want to pop the item of the array. So maybe what we could do is we could shuffle this shuffle. We need a seed. So again, we can use the game state random seeds. Random. Why do I have this autocomplete popping? I thought I disabled that. I need to disable it. Element size of visual offsets. Alright, and count then. Alright. So this should shuffle this array, and then we can just pop off the top of the array or the top of the stack or the bottom, depending on how you look at it. Pop. I think I implemented pop. Where's the array? Visual offsets. Okay. Alright, and then it should never pick twice the same thing. And we could use a checked. Oh, it's already checked. Okay. Okay. And just to be sure, like if we ever... Nah, we just get an assertion if we try to pop more than a load. We could just make one more. No. Okay, let's try. Loads. Okay, simulate. Okay, so we got two apples. They are very close together. I thought I did a better job at separating them, but apparently not. I guess it's this one and this one. So it can go lower and a little bit to the left still. Place, walk, simulate. Not bad. Yeah. And I suppose we could like have more of those. So maybe this one we can put it even lower, and this one could be like there. And let's just hardcode it to be 4, so we can just check the distribution of the apples. And let's put another on this side, maybe higher up. Go. Okay, loads. We don't care about placing a tree since... Okay. Why? I thought I put some other one on the left. It's a bit confusing. Okay, let's put one very much to the left. Even more than this one, and lower. So... Oh my god. No ASMR on this stream. Oops. Pum, 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 pum. What? What the fuck? Makes no sense. Is it again this hot reload bug that I had before? I hope not. I should fix that. I don't want to. So the two on the left are very close, so 1, 2, 3. By the way, I have 6 now, so maybe that's where the problem comes from. Load, simulate. Okay. So this one is a bit too much. The third from the left, so not this one, not this one, but this one, it's a bit too much. On top of things. Okay. And the one at the very top could also go a little bit to the left. And a bit higher maybe. So very top is this guy, I think, or this guy. A bit to the left. Loads, simulates. Ah, interesting. I think there was the bug. Alright. Okay, it's good enough. And what? It's getting tiring that the hot reload doesn't work. It's getting annoying. Okay, so 1 apple. Okay, so now let's move to the next step. Let's keep going. We want the apples to drop. 1 second. It's just getting very annoying, I find. Boop. We want the apple to drop. The apples to drop whenever this gets attacked. I think I have a couple of ideas of how it could work. So right now the apple tree has 2 abilities, I think. Grow fruits. It should have 0 at this normally and 1 per adjacent tree. And then when it gets attacked, it drops its apple. And this stat of how much an apple heals can go on the apple itself later. Honestly, I think we can just remove this one completely. So this would become grow apples. So we specify it's apples. And so when we just have it as a rule that when an item, a drop item, so one way we could have it is when this gets triggered, meaning when we hit the tree, we iterate all the entities and find the ones that are apples and that are on the same tile, and we trigger we start their dropping animation. Another way, another way we could do it is we add a property that is like held by entity, and here we put the tree, and each time we update the drop, so the apple, we check if the entity is dead or not. Okay, let's go with that. I feel good about that one. So we can also, like, other kind of entities can also hold drops if we need later. That sounds good. So we go to the entity and we add this held by entity index for drops, mostly like apples in trees. And this would be like trigger entity. Yes. Go. What's wrong? Oh, index, of course. Okay. What's wrong? Ah, yes. Whoops. Okay. The heck, okay. That's normal. It's I changed the structure of the thing, so we don't yet have the backward compatible. Like, ultimately, like I should still be able to load. Ah, no, I'm not. Okay. Ultimately, we will be able to change the structure and reload. Just it's not yet ready. So we just play. Oh my god! We just place an apple tree like that. Shit. I keep hitting the wrong. It's killing me. Okay, restart. Okay, good, good. Guess we can place an empty one and then. Okay, let's find a level that has two. Okay, good. This one has even three. Place apple tree. Okay, we saved that. That's precious. Okay, saved. Now let's place another oak and some stuff. Okay. The shadow is super dark. I guess there's something weird going on with the apples. I love the selection of shit. Apples, apples, apples. Okay, I forgot to save when I assigned the blob. Shadow small, I guess. Okay. That sounds more reasonable. Okay. Now we can animate this shit. Animate. Anim, I think it's called. Entity anim. I mean, so entity anim is more for moving the tiles from here to there. So I'm kind of hesitating to put stuff there. Put more stuff, I mean. I guess I should maybe not put it there. So I keep it here, and here we'll just do the animation. So visual height or pose height, visual height. We basically want to accelerate towards towards 0. So we do need to keep track of acceleration. Something like this. We increment the height by the vertical velocity, and the vertical velocity needs to increase also every frame. I think we should do it before. I never remember if it's more precise to do it before or after. I think halfway before, halfway after, but but well. So we increase it by something like 40 units per second, pixels. I think that sounds fair. And then if the visual height is smaller than 0, then we reset both the velocity and the visual heights. That should already be enough to make the apples fall. Oh my god, the sound system. Oops. Oh my god. Again. So what's up now? I changed the structure again. Okay. I really need to implement backwards compatibility, which shouldn't be hard. I planned for it, but I just didn't do it yet. So, okay, we can place an apple tree just here and simulate. Aha! they fly into the sky. Damn. So, if I recall, like visual height is a positive number. It should go towards 0. So this should also go towards the negative. Okay, there's my answer. It didn't seem super smooth from what I saw. Shit. I forgot to save. Oh, this pop-up is also super annoying. Yeah, I should do some stuff for my quality of life, or I will turn crazy. Okay. Place apple tree. Shit. There are many quality of life things that I just started but didn't finish that I should totally finish. For example, I had previously a history of entered commands. In that case, it would be so cool to just hit the up arrow like in a console and just trigger some commands. Bing, boom, bing. Okay, they fall. It was a bit, it was strangely choppy. Just enable a feature that I think could be useful. Forgot to save again. Okay. Ah! Okay. No! Place apple tree. Now save. Okay. Now simulate. Okay, and if I rewind, yeah, that's nice. So this is a new feature I'm working on. Rewind for the engine basically. Okay, so the apple I think pause during this thing because I stop animating tiles during this thing. I'm guessing that's what happens. Okay, so the apple stop for just a few milliseconds. What I can do already is first of all increase this drastically, and then here instead of just canceling the vertical velocity we can add some slight bounce by setting it to the negative times maybe something like this, a fraction of the velocity, or maybe we can put the negative here so it's more visible, and loads and simulate. Nice, small bounce. And we don't even really see the pause anymore. So maybe I'm fine with that. now we need to make the apple wait for the hero to hit the tree before we drop them. So here we should not animate before we get a hit. So let's so we have a holding entity index, I think, held by entity index, maybe. And what we want to do basically is check that, right? If we are not held, or if we are held and it's dead, basically. So entities, we access the entity at that index and we check if it's dead. If it's dead, yes. If it's dead, we want to drop. And I just realized it's not really what we are trying to do. Because it didn't work, because the tree was definitely not dead and they fell already. I think it's the hot reload bug. Okay, working so far. Okay. This works. We might want that the apple fall at the first hit. Which is a little bit more complex, but doable. What we need to do is when we have drop fruits, drop apples. Okay, fine. Where we here? Dropping X apple. Basically, we loop over all the entities at this position for each at pause. I want to re-implement this to be different. But maybe we can do it manually first. Like this. Let's do it like this. For get entities at pause. At pause. And then we just get a pause. And here the condition will be that the tile pause is equal to pause. And then we return. So again, it's another use for my dynamic arrays stored in temporary memory. Din R should probably be spelled like this to be consistent, or just R. Entity. I guess it's an array of pointers. Same pause. It's not the most elegant, but I mean, entities at pause. Not the most elegant because we basically loop over all the entities, the active ones at least, and then we loop again over the set that we returned to filter them further, so it's not perfect. And Now we do a get def. We check the type for drop. And what we will do at this point is other ends held by entity index equals 0. That way, that way they will basically detach from the tree and fall. That's the plan. Alors. I need to difference once more. That kind of sucks, but life. Because of my loop macro, which I definitely should improve. Yeah. Okay, so other entity ID. What's wrong with that? Def ID. Kind of forgetting how my game works. Okay. I think this might just work directly. Hopefully the hot reload. Oh my god. The hot reload. Okay, so it fell right away. So held by entity index should not be 0. So this should not be like when they spawn, because we set it, right? We set it to trigger entity index. Right. Only at this point we set it to 0. So is that code called before? Maybe you can attach the debugger. The debugger. Come on. It's so slow. That's why I never run the debugger. It's terribly slow. And also it doesn't seem to work. Strangely. The fuck? Let's try again, I guess. Up, attach. Oops. My bad. Okay, seems to be attached finally. So I load, I simulate. They are holding. So now it's not working. Okay. We hit that breakpoint. We'll probably find a second apple and then we're going. Okay. They fell. We can rewind a little bit just to see it again. Perfect. It works. Nice. What happened just now? I think the game put tiles at the wrong places. Okay, seems fixed. Weird. All right, so that's progress. So when we arrive on the tile, now the apples should like fly towards the player and just disappear, I think. And in this case, apples will feed the player and replenish its health a little bit. So that could be something. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. So, how do we do that? I suppose when the player arrives on the tile, the hero arrives at that point. So it's not really, actually it's not instant, like the apple will need to animate towards the player, I think. So maybe the apple should check, like where I animate them, here. Like maybe they should check where the player is, and if it's in the same tile, gameplay tile, it just flies towards it. So I don't know if you know what I mean, but I think we have a player entity, or if not, we can get it. Tile pose. If it's equal to, I guess it's a arrow. If it's equal to our own tile pose, then we should animate towards it. What we can do to just check that this condition works is just set this to dead, and they should disappear basically when I save. Doesn't work. And the sound stopped. Okay, interesting. So good thing that I checked. Maybe they still are dead, but it doesn't show. That's entirely possible, actually, quite likely. Because I think I bypassed the drawing. No, I'm not sure. Again, it's not. Maybe the hot reload bug is linked to this compiler attachment bug. What the heck? Trying to attach once more. I'm starting to lose my patience with this. Okay. Let's put a breakpoint here. So they should fall, and then it moves and up. Okay, we hit the breakpoints. That's good. Should hit a second time, and then okay, now they are dead. We continue hitting it, of course, but they are dead. Instead of becoming dead, they should just animate towards the player and then disappear. So to animate towards the player, I think we'll just do the hero has a height, like conceptually. So we could say like target height, maybe 6 or 8, and then move towards our targets at some rate, and the delta km dt. No. Current target. It's not moved towards that. I wanted tends towards. It's kind of slow to compile now. It's annoying. Great. It worked perfectly. Just fighting with that now. So we can probably say it's actually kind of cool. And then we get like 2 target visual pose, and it will be the position of the player. Visual pose. I don't remember if it's, yeah, no, it's vec 2 tends towards. And then the target. And then this. And visual pose. We're getting there. Load, simulate. Okay, perfect. So it goes quite fast toward the player. Maybe we can make it slightly slower. Let's try this. Okay, that's better. If it changes anything, maybe there is a bug. And now they need to disappear at when they reach the target, basically. So if let's take the distance, vec2 distance from these to our targets. We want it to be smaller than what's this? Than 1 pixel, maybe. And we'll do the same with take the absolute value of the target visual height, or target height actually, minus entity visual height. It must also be smaller than 1. And then at this point we say that we are dead. So end dead true. All right. Load, simulate. So it was quite instantaneous. Which is kind of strange. Visual pose, target pose. Not sure. Maybe I can try a very small number, but I don't think that's the problem. Okay, this time it worked. So either... Ah, shit. Okay, maybe it was actually this. And so instead of playing an animation when we are dead, I think we can just skip drawing. So basically, if is drop and is dead or just dead, then we skip rendering a wild return. I guess I shouldn't really put a return like this here. But whatever. I don't want to nest the whole thing. We can improve later if we have similar use cases for other kind of things. Perfect. I'm not sure I like the animation of how they fly towards the player for some reason. I think maybe they should accelerate a little more. So where were we? Here. Maybe instead of a 10 towards, I should add some velocity. This could be good enough. We also already have the... We also already have the velocity stored, which is nice. Remind me, so current velocity target bounciness delta type and suggested bounciness 007. Okay. Visual height. Well, let's do the same for this guy, except it's the vector 2 version that we don't have. I thought so. 10 towards. Okay, so we grouped those together, okay. Spring towards. Does it matter that it's 2D? Like, do we want, can we process it independently of the axes? I think so. Not actually sure, because if you imagine a spring, I think it will be fine. I think you can actually. I think you probably can. So it's a pointer. So current x, and we pass okay. So okay. Not really the signature that we want. So we want this signature just with vector 2s instead of floats. Just do it manually. Target, and we're good. And then current x, velocity x, target x, and then bounciness delta time. And then we do that for y. No, I cannot use multi-cursor here. Z, y, y. I think that's correct, except it's not 3D. But we want this one as well for like for good measure. Just implement this one as well. Targets up. All right. Okay. What's the matter? Didn't recompile because the the build system also uses this file, so it crashes the build system if I pick it up. And that crashes, but it stops working. Let's see. So do we actually use it now? Now we do. Visual pause, and let's quit this. E visual vel. That wasn't it. Why can't you just bring me to the definition, please? Visual Studio Code, I guess. Visual Studio Code. Oh my god. It's so bad. Probably it thinks the file is too big or whatever. Visual position. Starting to get real tired. I should stop soon. Where is the visual position? Am I crazy? Do you see it? Ah, it's in cosmetic only. Okay, because it's actually cosmetic. Visual vel, vertical. Visual pose. I don't have a vel. I don't have a velocity. I just had for the vertical thing, but not yet for the this one. And actually, I don't know how much sense it makes to have a velocity like this. Like maybe we should take into account the perspective for such a value. Now we change the structure of the entity, so we should place again the apple tree. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to save and simulate. That's weird, weird animation. Let's see it once more. In slow-mo. Why does it do that? That's kind of strange. So it goes up and then down for some reason. Okay. I'll also change the arrays of positions, so it looks like drop roots. It's not there. Grow roots. That's the one. Just shuffle things around a little bit. Maybe order them. Just so hopefully a little bit better. Not so much actually. they always want to be touching those apples. Okay. I wish one was very much to the left and one very much to the right or something. It's blocking. Why does it do that? I have no freaking idea. No freaking idea. Pick up and okay. So how can I get some visibility on what's happening? First, I could think a little bit. First of all, I have a different value here and there. So that might explain why it behaves differently on the two axes. Let's see. Huh. I don't fully understand what's going on, to be absolutely honest. Do we change this? No. We don't change this since it's new. Oh. So I guess I'm trying to understand why the movement is so weird, because I would expect just apples to go towards the player. I think it's just pausing. I think it's probably just pausing. For the same reason as so maybe we can just, but why? What I don't understand is why is it pausing at all? Because we execute, as far as I know, we execute this always, like every frame, don't we? Where are we exactly? If action Q. Because I think that's where isn't it where we draw the entities? I know we draw them down here. Okay, then we need to take this out. Okay, can do that. So we delete that and we move it before drawing the tile. Okay. Right. So this can go before the condition. Oops. And this turns into an equal. Okay. Simulate. Now we should not have the weird poses. Okay, so it didn't manage to get close enough to the player to be stopped. Maybe we can move back to using a bigger threshold. Load, simulate. So I'm not sure we really want to spring toward the player. I think it gives a nice acceleration, but of course, if it misses the player, let's go in slow-mo. Okay. Very much slow. It's interesting, it's like it's going towards the player the hero very slowly. It even popped back, no idea why. No idea why it would do that. Spring toward, visual position. This is the target, right? Current LST. Looks good to me. So vertically it's kind of fine. Just horizontally doesn't work. Also it goes back to the... So it's strange. I don't understand because we don't really... Ah! Maybe we reset that to some... Oh my god, yeah, my code is so bad. My code is so bad. I apologize on behalf of myself. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, now I think it works. Just weird that it goes down. No, still kind of strange, but so where was the animation here? Just want to check something like let's see if dead appears at the correct moment. We should get a message when the fruits disappear, basically, or when they reach the... My god. Did you see that? The fruits just... Why? What the fuck? So I guess this hack was making it work somehow. Mm. Okay. So now I'm just checking. I thought this was. I thought this was supposed to be in another function. Okay, so it's the destroy animation that is playing, probably. So I'll just sprinkle the code with special cases for now. Still. So we are not supposed to get there. I don't think so. Where is the visual position changed then? Is it this? Load, simulate. No, it's not this. Then it's... Oh la la. Why? 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 Why the heck? What did I do? What did I change? Why did it suddenly start doing that? What was the last thing I changed? This backup thing, this is that what causes the bug somehow? Like was it hiding a bug? My god. It seems like it's... So somebody is touching visual pause when it shouldn't. So it's not that. It's not that. It is that. My god, why do I do stuff like this? Makes no sense. Because it's just old code that is causing problems. Okay. Good. Now I commented out this. I can comment it back and uncomment it back, I guess. Okay, so the apples fell. That makes sense. Load, simulate. Oh, they fall. Oh, okay, good. That's better. So now I can actually tweak the values properly with more bounciness, so they accelerate slower. No, didn't work. Is it the other way around? Just checking. Yes. That was maybe a bit overshooting it. The heck? Oh no, it's my hot reload thing, I think. So, okay, next up, we really need to fix that. Okay, not bad. Let's try 3. So, just relaunching now. Because I'm not going to put up with the bug. Okay, not bad. Maybe slower? A little faster. Okay. Now, before they die, we should apply their effects. So in this case, we know they are apples. And we know that the player picks them up, so we can just heal the player by 2 or so. Later on, we'll make it dynamic. So the value can be tweaked. Nice. But what the hell was that? I guess we could check. Okay. And maybe it would be nice if we check, basically, we start going towards the player sooner. Pause -1. So basically in that setup, the apples will start going much too soon. But what we'll do is we'll add a range, a visual position range. So if visual basically this smaller than, I think a tile is 40 pixels or 20, I don't remember. that would be half. Let's see if that does it. Basically, if we are visually close enough, it can already start attracting the loot. I don't think it registered my change. Okay, I forgot to put this inside. That works, but why? Okay, fall should be first. I believe it should have priority. Okay. Load, simulate. Okay. So this wasn't. Ah no, okay. It's falling. Basically, we need a way to say. Fall. Ah, right, okay. So perhaps we need to say, like, normally you should be in falling state when you get picked up, because if you are not, you are still on a tree. So we can do it basically like this. This is the actual fall. I think that should do it. Let's see. No. So we are not falling actually, so that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not thinking of a fully. I guess we could also just apply both. They both work with the velocity. I don't see why they couldn't work. Like, as long as the pickup force is stronger than the gravity, maybe it could look interesting even. So far so good. Ah, yeah, I like it. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see it once more. Just checking that they basically start getting attracted by the hero at different points. No. They start exactly at the same time, I think. Why? Load simulate. Whatever, maybe it's enough, good enough. Actually, I wonder if the visual position of the player is truly what I think it is. I'm wondering if the ugly hack that we saw with the backup position thing is impacting us. I think it is. So I should probably rethink and rewrite much of the animation thing that makes the entity moves, etc. Okay, one last thing we could do is grow the fruits. Have a little animation, but maybe not today, because I'm getting too tired. All right. Oh, hello, Roger. Rogers. Just saw you in the chat. Working on a tile placement game. Ah, thanks, Ike. The animation of the apple falling and being collected looked nice. Thank you. Trying to make it so they start at exactly the same time, but I struggle. I think I know what's the problem now, but I'm too scared to try to fix because it's an ugly hack I did a long time ago. What happens if I just comment it out? Bad things. Wow. Maybe it's not too hard to fix actually. I guess it's attack. It's somewhere here. Visual position, diff. Action, tactic. So I suppose timer. I suppose I could calculate just the base position, like anim. Like target pose. Where do we calculate target pose? Here. So maybe I could just say get tile pose, visual pose for tile pose. And then take this and I'll implement this visual pose for tile pose. Static vec2 visual pose for tile pose. Then it will be this. So basically you pass to it an integer saying what tile position you are in. So for example like 0, 1, 2, 3. It returns just the basic position, vector2 visual position for that tile. So what did I delete this? Okay. And I can reuse that wherever I have my fighting animation, attack animation, attack here, to basically assign a visual position of tile pose x plus diff, something like this. Just relaunching. Let's see if it's oh wow, okay, no. Tile width. This looks okay to me. Right, so now I should check, because I think now the attacks are fine, probably. It's just the walks that are... So the walks are... Okay, attacks are just kind of reversed. Yeah, there is really glitchy and weird stuff going on. I think I'll just commit what I have for the apple trees and see later for fixing this mess, basically. So I'll try to cherry pick, change quite a bit of things, so that we want get entities at pose, yes. This we definitely want, yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that last one was the one that I wanted to put on a shelf. This we skip. This we skip. This we commit. This was already commented. Okay. My god, I think Git is very bad for... You change the indentation of a block of code and it loses any up. Animal dropped the items, so that's good. That's good enough. And maybe that's the thing that we want to... Why did I change this though? Ah, okay. I think that's fine. And this we just revert to the hack. Okay, let's try now to stash this. Why did it stash two files? Maybe it's the generated one, but it should still... Can't I just stash... I know it also stashes what I already staged. That sucks. Okay. Then improved or implemented loot drop and pick up and be like this. This should obviously also be committed. This can also be committed. Doesn't let me. It must be committed, okay. And maybe this reverts because, well, I want to fix it sometime. Added. Okay. Now I should be able to commit this. I shouldn't have pushed because I wanted to test if I stash this, does it still work? And it doesn't. Right. So I guess it's... Is it in a state that works at this point? Walking works. Okay. Okay, I think it's good. Okay, good. All right. I think we can call it for today. Alright, I'll stop the stream now. Thank you for watching and see you soon.